The following show contains a fictional narrative that includes themes, events, and language that some may find distressing. Discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of This Line Isn't Secure. I'm Libby. I'm always funny and never not funny. Today, we're going to have a fantastic session filled with many foibles and fables. Let's begin our introduction as usual. Go ahead, whomever.
And many other things that start with F. Hello, my name's Ty. You probably know me most commonly as Deputy Marshal or ex-Deputy Marshal Reed Hollis, aka Agent Millstone for Delta Green.
Hey everyone, Charlie here. I'll be playing Agent Meridian, aka Adam Blackburn.
Hey y'all, this is Andy, and I'm playing Dr. Alexander Shoemaker, Professor of Forensic Psychiatry and Agent Merchant.
Oh, that brings us around to me. Hi, I'm Hawk, best known for my portrayal of Agent Heather Stoddard, aka Agent Miranda within Delta Green, who is she's good with the numbers and the computers and the electronics. Pretty much anything with wires, beeps, and buzzes, she's your girl.
As my personal Christ says, only you can prevent forest fires. All right, y'all. Yeah.
You want me to hit you with the old recappy libs?
Hit me with that damn recap. I want to feel it on my freaking face. Go for it.
Absolutely. So, MCell, investigating the Dorchester House psychiatric facility for some missing Delta Green agents, continued their rounds. Led by the expert Dr. Alex Shoemaker, Agent Merchant, they interrogated the head nurse in charge of the ward, one Esther Samagina. She led us around the building, showing us that it was a very well-secured place. Lots of mechanical locks, a few keycard locks, mostly on the professional offices, all the windows safely shut. We interviewed them about movement outside the building, talked a little bit about scheduled outings, but through it all, until we were able to enter her room, where a white noise machine sort of reduced some of the outside listeners to her understanding, discussion of the escapes themselves seemed somewhat uncomfortable for her. These unsupervised patient absences were a source of stress, not for her in a way that the orderlies didn't seem to care very much. The orderlies, in fact, seemed to be of a particularly muscular and physical kind of medical care, uninterested in the escapes or the presence of 4 strange people on the ward at this time. We learned that Dr. Dallin prefers a science-based treatment with few clinical trials, removing some of the concerns we might have about outside influences on the missing agents. We learned that there were other attempted escapes and patients' absence events, some missing medicine, but nothing that would have risen to the level of a red flag for most people. Frankly, this is probably what makes the Dorchester House such a good place to stash your Delta Green agents. You certainly wouldn't want them someplace where more interesting things are happening regularly. We learned that the 3rd floor was more locked down for those patients that needed to be in solitary. We met a couple of these patients, including some who seemed to know us a little bit better. When we were finally able to tear ourselves away from our interactions with the head nurse, we headed out to check out a few spots, including the security cameras and the incident tape of the night in question. where a gap in the tape, an error, a lacuna, revealed itself to contain not footage, as one would expect, of the facility, but of strange figures speaking directly to the camera and seemingly directly to Agent Miranda. The dog has a name, but when you hear it, you won't have any Patsu left, Miranda, they said. Again, repeating the strange word that we heard from the exterminators outside the Greek restaurant not far away. The confusing and strange messages of the tape continued to overwhelm us. He hunts among the alligators while the cities turn to ash. You have to turn yourself intangible. The tape was confusing, strange, unnerving, unreal. Not the first time I can recall a video being unreal in our investigations. But with the tape providing no new leads, MCell finds ourselves forced to turn towards the head nurse and our supposed contact. The agent who told us about Dorchester House, now identified as someone with a connection directly to the case and to some other strange happenings around Boston. At least, that's how I remember it.
The cassette tape hits stop. You hear the sound of plastic striking plastic. Sound that you've heard before and you didn't really realize was about to happen. The guard in the booth is looking up at the two of you and kind of surprised or shocked that you didn't say, "That's all right, that's good." Waiting now as you hear the plastic kind of resonates through the plastic player that it's in right now. He looks and he's still looking at you and says, anything else, or should I take the tape out? And go ahead and roll SAN at this time for what you've seen.
61 over 49.
That's
4 under 59.
That's, yeah, wow. Neither one of those is 6. I think that it's definitely a difficult time for the security guard. He's kind of looking around and confused. Sorry, Andy, you can take, let's see, 2, let's 2 SAN. You lose 2 SAN. Yes, indeed. 2.
Feel good about that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Apparently.
Miranda doesn't glance over at her compatriot merchant as she reaches over and hits the stop button on the tape player and says, "That's fine. It is unusual, I'll give you that, but you see these sometimes. Errors, nothing to worry about."
Hang on, errors? What do you mean errors?
Like I said, nothing to worry about. I pat him on the shoulder, and then I turn back to Meridian and Millstone. I still haven't really checked in with Merchant, and I make a gesture as I look at them. I kind of do I pull my hand over my face, like I'm like pulling on a mask or a face or something. I do this just to communicate that, keep it together, something weird sort of thing. And then I say, well, don't know that we're going to get much more out of the security system. Why don't we go grab a coffee and figure out what our next steps are, gentlemen?
Coffee sounds good. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Reed really in that moment, he can see, I think, with how perceptive he is, that there's something not quite right about Miranda's demeanor, but and is very, very tempted to get into the thick of it right now, but is gonna just okay, yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get out of here as fast as we can.
Okay, yeah, you run into Esther on the way out. You don't really run into her as much as you kind of lock eyes with each other. You see that she's assisting a patient. And she kind of gives you a quizzical look of anything else, right? She gives you a look of she's maybe going to start walking towards you. But if at this point you were to say, or you say, nah, it's okay, she probably wouldn't, she wouldn't come over. Do you want to stop her from coming over to you or allow her to?
I'm going to actually go ahead and walk over to her.
Okay, she meets you in the middle.
Hi, Esther. Did you have a chance to review the incident tape from the event?
No. No. Dr. Dallin did, and I, and as did the security guard,
of course,
Matthew.
Gotcha. Well, nothing untoward. They just wanted to know, Dr. Merchant had some opinions about some of the demeanor of the people on the tapes, and I was wondering as a professional, but we'll talk with Dr. Dallin about that. It's no issue. Do you have a break room, someplace we might grab a coffee, staff room, anything like that?
No, the break room was left open one too many times, and so we don't use it during the day anymore, just during the nighttime. during the day, we just go out to one of the cafes nearby, or we'll just a lot of us live close to our houses, so we'll just go home or come back.
The break room's in use at night still.
Yes. We don't for overnight orderlies and things. Most of the patients are in their rooms, and but then they're allowed to go into the break room.
Would you mind, just to satisfy my curiosity, if you could show it to me? I would just like to get a full picture while we're here.
Oh yes, no problem. Do you think that there's something wrong in there, like
just dot our I's, cross our T's. You know how it is.
Oh.
If we don't do it now and they come through on appeal, then it's my ass, and I don't need that.
Okay,
I
all right.
glance back and look at the others, and I say, Mill, why don't you take Merchant out for some fresh air? You can check the perimeter.
Right? Yeah, I can do that.
Cool. Meridian and I will meet you outside as soon as we check out the break room.
Okay. Oh, yeah, of course. She, says, "Follow me." She walks you along the floor and brings you to a room. It has a sign that says "break room." Clearly, the sign is affixed to the door in some kind of like a frame, but now it has just kind of been haphazardly hammered with a couple of nails into the door, a little bit crooked. And there are 3 different kinds of locks on the exterior of the door. 2 are the kind of like swinging gate where you have like a padlock, and then that kind of closes it. So there's 2 of those, and then there is one that is just what seems to be like just a regular, so to speak, deadbolt. It seems as though the deadbolt, someone put like effort and time into putting the deadbolt in the door. Usually that's a little bit more work anyway. The kind of the swinging gate locks appear to be pretty hasty, but albeit still pretty sturdy. They're not as pretty or as meticulous as a deadbolt would be. And they also look to have moved in the sense that there are certainly screw holes in other places where other locks have been affixed, likely these ones that are here. The swinging gate locks do look to be pretty marred. They're like made of metal, so they're not like broken, so to speak, but they were painted this kind of, or they were made this kind of like whatever it's called, like dark bronze, right? Basically like black. And a lot of that is kind of stripped, and there's a good amount of like silver that's coming through the steel, you assume, coming through. This kind of like bad finishing job has been either scratched or grabbed away or by something. It's not clear exactly what it is necessarily, but you'd gather probably like fingernails, that makes the most sense. Also, quite a feat, by the way, to take the finish off a door with fingernails. She grabs at a key ring that's near her waist and a bunch of keys on it. She unlocks the 2 padlocks and then puts the key in the deadbolt and unlocks that and opens the door. Inside, there's a man. So the break room is set up kind of in an odd way. The break room, as you enter, you realize that you are actually on the exterior, because I think I mentioned before, a lot of these floors are set up such that the middle is more so kind of the goldfish bowl, right? The 3rd floor is by far the most stark, right? There's this actual huge goldfish bowl. But the first, second floors have a little less, overt, we're watching you feel. There's more actual walls than just glass walls. Still a good amount of plexiglass, right? But a lot more private. But you realize as you go in this room, there's a place, there's a man sitting at a table, a small table in this little break room. She only has maybe 1 or 2 small tables, a fridge. Imagine your average shitty break room. He's sitting at a table and he's looking out a window, and you can't see what's out the window. Obviously, he's looking at it in such a way that he shouldn't be able to see. And the way he's looking, the exterior of the building continues. There are windows dead ahead of you as you open the door as you're facing the exterior, but he's on the right, which means he would be staring at another room if there were a window there. You can't quite see what he looks like either. The fluorescent lights in this room are doing that thing. They flicker on and they flicker off. They make this very annoying buzzing sound, and it's impossible to properly plan or determine when the next flicker is going to be. So it's hard to see him too. He looks a lot like Mark Rourke. In fact, so much so that you're, I think, probably immediately concerned. It's his doppelganger if it's not him. That's what you're thinking. He's got that kind of frazzled hair. He's got the kind of, it's like stinking from a distance, old clothes you can see. And you think you see kind of a busted, bloody head as he's kind of like looking out what you think maybe must be a window. You see a frame. And again, in this very, very quick second or two as you open the door, you see that a flash of light, kind of as if something outside is bright, kind of hits and washes over him. And Esther then says, like, damn it, and you hear her slam something. And then the lights, they immediately stop flickering, and they come on now, and they're clear, and the window shades opened. They weren't open a second ago, but they opened. They're open now. Sun's coming in. So sorry, those shades close all the time, and these lights, but good thing they were open today. I mean, goodness gracious, just the buzzing bothers me when those lights do the thing they do. Anyway, she shouts over. She's like, Gail, you can stop looking at that picture. Everybody knows you like Celine Dion. She's like, the woman turns to face you, kind of an older lady. Oh, sorry, just daydreaming. And you see now as you kind of look, there's just a framed picture of Celine Dion on the wall, autographed. Seems like she, signed whatever album art or whatever this is. The break room now is really otherwise uninteresting. Again, think of your normal shitty break room. But Esther says, anything you want to look around and see? Anything particular or?
I thought you said the room was closed during the day, but Miss Gale here is she kept here for some particular purpose?
She says, well, okay, all right. She closes the door. Or tries to. Do you want to stop her?
No, I have no reason to stop her.
She, and I'm not making you roll sand, by the way, for that whole thing that just happened. And the reason is because it was literally 1 second. I think all of you have experienced something literally in the last 15 minutes that you believe is much more odd than what you just saw. But again, certainly you would remember that. That's not nothing. Okay. She says, she closes the door and she says, you can show them, Gail. And so Gail was like, kind of looks around and she lifts up like a kind of a smaller purse, like a smaller black purse. Clearly has not seen as much wear as the purse that she's also got with her. And she kind of opens up her purse, and inside it looks like she has some kind of drug, definitely a controlled substance of some variety. And she says, Esther says, Gail uses the room during the day because she has to take some treatments that are embarrassing for her. And so she comes in and out and comes and goes. And that's why the room is locked during the day. It's not in use. I feel bad for Gail.
Very kind of you. Well, thank you for showing us the room.
We can go now and let Gail do her thing.
Of course. Sorry to interrupt you, Gail. Do you mind if I ask Gail just one question before we go?
I suppose.
It's all right. You can say no. It's no problem.
No. I think that's fine. Gail is an adult, so I believe that. Yes, she kind of excuses herself very quickly. Doesn't want to. She leaves. Gail is kind of taken to looking back at the Celine Dion photo. He's aware of you still, but seems to be maybe kind of drifting. Seems to be kind of lightheaded.
Miranda moves to sort of a few feet to the side of Gail and sort of squats down just outside of arm's reach and says, Gail, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but were you friends with any of the people who left the facility recently?
Psychotherapy is going to be easier for you. If you want to roll humans, you might get there, but it's going to be tougher. She's already clearly in that kind of an altered state. You can tell as you get closer to her. It's hot and she's not sweaty. She's got a little bit of just a very airy look about her right now, as if she's kind of partially here, partially not here kind of thing. So it's going to be tough, but you can try to talk to her.
Hey, baby, I'm bad at both of those. That's a 31 over 30 for human anyway.
Okay, all right. So you did not, you failed. Sorry, I laughed when you said, hey, baby.
Yeah, I failed.
That sounds good.
You made him feel a little bubbly on the inside when you said that.
Can I roll human also?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Gotta click them stats.
Click clack, baby.
Nope.
All right.
51 over 10. That's hell no.
Could you tell me anything about them, or?
And she kind of just you can see she just falls asleep. Her black bag that she has kind of falls onto the table, and you see a couple of syringes and a couple of bottles of methadone that kind of roll out and roll onto the table. They hit a little napkin stand on the table and clink.
I'm gonna go ahead and gently gather those up and tuck them back into her bag and put it by her feet, and then turn to Meridian. Do you think you can get anything out of her? And I pause and then say, actually, on second thought, let's not. Unless you have anything else you want to check out Meridian, we can see if we can find Millstone, see if he's managed to figure anything out with Merchant in our absence.
Okay, well, as soon as you try and leave the room, I'll leave after I go next to Gale and just lead in close and say, "You look better when you got shot in the eye, Rourke," and leaves.
As you're like closing the door, you hear a chuckle. Look back. Still Gale. Outside with the two boys.
Cash me outside.
Transition. The two of you. Thank you. As the two of you make your way outside, you hit the front door, and really nothing about the perimeter is that interesting. Both of you have had your fair share of time being in law enforcement, and so you kind of size it up. Not a whole lot of walking required. I mean, it's fine. It's exactly as secure as a place like this should be. There are a few security guards that are kind of meandering around, some orderlies, some gardeners. It is, the picture in my head is that Shutter Island when they kind of arrive, right? Obviously, wrong time period, but that kind of think that amount of people. Nothing super interesting. The only interesting thing, actually, is just after you exit and are kind of perusing and looking around, there's a nurse that kind of exits the front door as she kind of exits on her phone. She's very distracted. And you hear her shout, "Oh my fucking God, I can't believe you fucking got home early, you dirty bitch." Like loudly shouting. Yeah. And it's kind of like brushes past, doesn't actually bump into either of you, but like gets pretty damn close. Yeah, avoided you only because at the last moment she saw there were people there.
I think Reed just definitely wants to like continue trying to listen without being obvious. He's not going to follow or anything, but he's definitely going to be like, hold on up a second. I'm going to like, what is she saying?
Yeah.
As much as he
likewise.
can as she walks away.
Yeah, she says, she curses once more at whoever is on the other end of the phone. She throws her phone against the ground. It shatters. It's like a little plastic flip phone. And as somebody is kind of like walking by, she's kind of walking out down the driveway, out the entrance, and someone's kind of walking across the path that goes over the driveway, and she just looks at who you assume is a totally random human being, and just says like, "Do you think that solar panels are really going to be fucking important in 5 fucking years, you dumb whore?" And the woman is like totally taken aback. Clearly was not engaged. The woman's like just shocked and takes a second, and she's like, "I don't even have solar panels." And the woman that you saw, the nurse, she just turns around and says, "Go fuck yourself," and just keeps walking down the road.
Dude,
and you can hear her for a
spirit
good
of
way.
Rourke fucking like possessing other people. What is going on?
This is even like, I mean, Rourke, look, Rourke was mostly dick wagon, but maybe 3 or 4% witty. She's not. She's like clearly just enraged. I mean, she's like top of her lungs shouting. So much so that she walks kind of a block away, and you can hear her saying something about how it's entirely unreasonable to believe that the Minnesota Vikings will do anything good in her lifetime. And then she, she's talking to a man too, or another random man, so to speak. And he's just shocked. Keeps going.
And so she is just spouting whatever ranty opinion she has.
Mm-hmm.
No connection. All right.
Seems like not.
Yeah.
That's like the kind of level of like freedom that I aspire to one day.
To just
That lady has confidence.
rant at strangers.
I cannot associate as a Canadian.
You,
Yeah, did I interact with those people regularly in DC? And those people.
Not worth it.
I interact with people who are willing to tell you every terrible opinion they have in DC from every possible direction. You don't want to
As
be
a
that
future
person.
crazy person, what do you mean those people?
Yeah, so
Well,
that's what you've got from outside.
Reed
yeah.
turns to Meridian, or Reed turns to, just who the fuck ever, Merchant, and says, "Well, she seems pleasant. The fuck was that all about?"
when you turn to face Merchant, he gets that "I just got caught" look on his face. That's clearly a pretty disturbed individual. Must be having a rough day at work. Did you recognize her from our tour?
What'd you just swallow? What was that?
Oh, I got a little cold. I have
From down the road, you hear, "Give me back my fucking shadow! You stole it!" And you see she's like shouting at another person. This time she might get into a fight because he now is like he obviously says something and maybe says like get out of the way. And she just walks across the road in front of traffic. That car honks at her. He's like, "You took my fucking name!" And it's like pointing at the guy in the car who's honking at her. Keeps walking.
Should we intervene with her? Think we should do something about that?
Feel like it's not really in our jurisdiction. She's not in the building
you're
anymore,
right.
So.
You're right. Just the shadow thing.
mean,
the shadow thing. It just that.
who am I to talk about jurisdiction? You know, even just the concept of jurisdiction.
Yeah,
with
what does that even
is
mean
going on
anymore?
right now? Is our jurisdiction a planar one? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, cheers to not having jurisdictions anymore, huh?
Yeah, or just like really any concept of what constitutes reality, or anything like that. But anyway,
so that video was something.
I didn't catch it.
It happened again.
What do you mean?
Figures. The video clearly wasn't what the security guard was seeing. But figures emerged out of a ramshackle, cheap swamp, like play production.
Cheap swamp.
Like old time backdrop to a TV show, like from the 70s or something. And we're talking directly to Miranda about the dog. Remember the dog?
What the fuck, man? Okay.
And
cool. Great.
And
so
it's which means we're getting closer. We're getting close. Whatever it is, the end of the play, you know.
Reed lights up immediately. The fucking play.
Yeah.
So all these years later, and you're, that storm, you're still headed for the eye, aren't you?
I mean, aren't we all?
We're not all trying.
Whoa. Who said anything about trying? Who's trying to get there?
What did you swallow? What was that?
Nothing, just a cough drop.
In front of you on the street, a rear ending occurs. Car just smashes into somebody just in front of the the walkway of the driveway. It seems like somebody was like in their car looking up the driveway, either at you or something else, and somebody just smashes into him. Immediately, the security guys kind of like meander over, and some of the orderlies too, to help out.
Let's turn the corner.
Maybe about this time the other two come out. I would think. I mean, whether because of the noise at the time or both. You see him walking down the driveway towards you.
As they walk out, Millstone, I'm fine. I just want to resolve this. This has taken 20 years of my life, and it's taken 20 years of yours. Wouldn't it be nice to be done? Leave the theater? To know what this play was all about in the first place?
Reed hears language that is giving legitimacy and reality to the drama of the concept of the play. And Reed's ego doesn't deal well with that. Reed is the master of his own reality. He knows what's real and what's not. And he hears Alex just giving in, and he's disgusted by that. He says, take it easy, all right? And turns to acknowledge the other two.
Hey there, boys. Playing nice?
Yeah,
we're fine. We're fine.
Did you hear a nurse arguing with someone on her way out of the...
Nope. Turns out the break room was not so much locked away as being used as a impromptu treatment center for a unwell woman, but nothing too out of the line there. Although the door was... Meridian, would you describe the door as gnarly? Meridian is nodding. Yeah.
That would be gnarly. Yeah.
Well, I could use a break from this house. Do you want to go see if we can figure out what the hell is going on with our contact Barbas, or should we just spin our wheels for another few hours waiting for something to happen at us?
Proactive sounds good.
Go. Yeah.
Let's get rolling. Hopefully before nightfall. God forbid a paper moon rises.
What the fuck are you talking about?
The video, there was... You know what? Never mind.
I told him a little about it.
Okay. Yeah, I was being glib. There's a song. It's only a paper moon. It's only a muslin tree or whatever, a linen tree. I can't fucking remember that shit. But it's about
muslin.
It's about taking an idea, something presented to you, and just believing it because it looks credible at first glance, but really it's cheap. So just saying, let's not give in to astonishment, right? Let's get a roll on.
All right. Well, so each of you walk back together to the hotel, I assume. I feel like at this point it should just kind of be a meme, so I'll just keep doing it. Do you have a car?
No.
Foursquare.
Okay. All right. So you can call a fucking taxi then, I guess.
Yeah, we're leaving a paper trail a mile long.
Okay. Yeah. No. Everything. It's perfect. You're making the right decision. You call Lyft, Uber, or otherwise, and so you're gonna go to the residence that you found in I think it was in the police letter, right? The police file.
Or Barbas, yeah, when he was suspended.
Yeah, 919 4th Street in Medford, Massachusetts. Believe it or not, it's not super far. A couple miles. You too far to walk. Yeah, as you make the drive, I guess talk to me. How's the vibe in the car? Like you get into this Uber, this Lyft, right? Say it's a van, pulls up. Older Chrysler van pulls up. The doors that are supposed to be automatic but don't work. And so you hop in there, and the driver has the nice little those little nice signs that say do you want a conversation, no conversation, or loud music, right? It has one of those. What are we moving that little sign to? What are you gonna tell them you want?
Is it the night manager?
No, it's not. It is not. Good.
Immediately when we get in,
we've taken two separate cars that have that exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's a popular.
I've been in them. They're awesome. Yeah,
Uber accessory.
So nice.
Yeah,
not very many times, but sometimes. So you get in and you go to no conversation
immediately.
Okay, great. This dude, he's got 5 stars. Only ever had one 4.9, and he hates that shit. So he grabs. He's got these big old crock pots, tosses them on his ears, and he starts driving you to 919 4th Street. Maybe he says, hey. His GPS is extra big. He pushes the no conversation button. It gets very big. You have to wait about 10-15 minutes before you get there, so you've got some time. And then what
he's
you think?
Illegally wearing over-ear headphones while driving.
He is. It is very illegal in the state of Massachusetts. I'm pretty sure, but he didn't give a fuck. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. His Lyft score very important to that man. Very, very important.
As soon as the guy puts on his highly unsafe headphones, Miranda turns to Merchant and goes, "You've really never heard It's Only a Paper Moon?"
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay.
Merchant is clearly chewing on some chewing gum or something.
Yeah, sorry. Point of reference, everyone comes in with different points of reference. They all shape our performances. We all do different things with them. That's all fine.
Yeah, I used to go to live music shows a lot. Yeah.
Good. Nice. Big band stuff? You were seeing big band stuff? Paper Moon is like a jazz standard, I think.
Yeah, I used to live in a music town in my previous career. We went out a lot to jazz and whoever was playing.
Good. I mean, you sound a little torn up about it. I'm sorry you don't currently live that way. It sounds like it was whatever. I'm sorry. I'm getting into it. Anyone else have any notes about the fucking Dorchester house we need to be aware of before we roll out? And then I want to turn it over to Mel if you have any initial advice about our potential meeting with Barbas, considering he's more one of you than one of me.
Whatever this guy's deal is, I don't think that the fact that he's a cop or was a cop is going to have much bearing on the situation other than making him a little bit more dangerous. If my suspicions are correct, then the fact that he's part of whatever this is going to be more important than the fact that he's ex-law enforcement.
We should probably be prepared for the fact that he's not going to like that we discovered him.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Probable. But on the other hand, he bothered to drag us in here. If he's involved, he's going to probably want to talk about it. Everyone else fucking seems to.
You think he's going to want to talk about it? Do you remember how he was when we tried to pry information out of him at our initial briefing? He was a fucking asshole.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think he's going to stop being a fucking asshole, and I don't think he's going to stop being tight-lipped. I think those lips are about to get tighter, if you know what I mean.
Last time we were in a public place. Now we're in private. We'll make him
We-
talk.
I trust your abilities to incapacitate Mr. Exeter, if necessary.
Yeah.
We may have to talk to him twice more. We may not get anything out of him this time, but there's no way we talk to this guy 3 times and he doesn't spill some shit about some fucked up belief he has about the pearl at the center of the world's oyster or whatever the fuck he believes. Everyone we've run into, doesn't matter if they're... I mean, fucking Rourke spilled the beans to us after we saw him 2 or 3 times. Like, doesn't matter. We'll get there.
Well, I think that the best way to get something out of them that's actually going to be helpful is to not push too hard immediately. I mean, he's going to be weirded out in the first place. Just make it about the case. Make it
Totally
about,
agreed.
you know, there's something you didn't tell us, or there's got to be something more that you could tell us to help us, you know, if we're running into dead ends at Dorchester, like shit like
We
that.
can imply connections to things we've already encountered, slip in words about bottles, cities without doors, drowning, mazes, night manager, whatever. Slip it into a conversation, roundabout way, see if he reacts, dig at what works for him. Talk about plays, whatever.
At the phrase "without doors," Merchant clearly chokes on something a little bit before swallowing it down, and just stares out the window, completely clams up.
You doing okay there, Merch?
Mm-hmm.
You're being fucking weird.
Hey, we're all fucking weird. That's why we're here. Wouldn't be here if we weren't, right?
Try to keep my shit on the down low, but
I'll be fine.
You get a hand wave from the driver as he takes off his crock pots. He says that you will be arriving in about a minute, and asks if you want to be dropped off. Should you pull in the driveway? Should you stop on the street? What would be best for you?
Drop us off at this next corner. We'll walk the rest of the way. Thanks.
He doesn't even ask any questions or think about it twice. He does so, pulls the van to a stop.
Slip him a cash tip as well, and then wait for him to pull away and say, I've really stopped caring about operational security, huh?
Yeah.
It feels like it's not going to tip the scales at this point. Is anyone else picking up on that, or is that just a me feeling?
No, I mean, it's not your Uber account being used, but yeah, our handler's name is on case files. Like, this is so backward. It's looped in on itself.
I just don't even know what to say anymore. I mean, whatever happened 20 years ago, it did stuff to us. It did different stuff to each one of us, and I just feel like operational security has not really been top of mind since the first time we were briefed. I don't think it really needs to be.
Yeah, what's operational security when fumigators come out of buses, and I don't think they have a manual for that. Meridian?
I think we're alone now.
Now?
There doesn't seem to be anyone around.
No.
As the van speeds
There's
off,
no-
the windows down. Think I'm out now. Goes on there. So yeah, as you walk down 4th, all the houses kind of feel like they belong in a catalog. They all just kind of have this look about them, like they're all just kind of like cookie cutter, very what you'd expect. You know, all these like clean lawns and all this flower beds and shit. Every house except for 919. 919 just kind of like squats near the end, like a rust-colored bruise on the otherwise nice face of this area. This kind of uneven bungalow from maybe the 1920s, 30s. Definitely has the feeling of smoke stuck in those walls if you go inside. Definitely has the feeling of some very deep, nice shag carpet that is holding many of those smokes with it over the years. The grass is just totally gone wild. It's all patchy and unkempt. There's kind of a nice little, an attempt at what is a very nice little white fence kind of thing on the porch up front side, on the front of the house. All of the curtains are drawn. They all look as if they're perhaps even being, pulled taut, as if they're taped or if they're like some other way they're being secured to the windows other than just kind of there. There's no lights, no sound, no vehicles. There is, however, somebody next door. Looks to be another cookie cutter house. There's a maybe early 30s, maybe mid 30s man who is mowing the lawn. makes eye contact with you as you approach the group of you, but doesn't stop mowing. Just keeps him on the lawn. Definitely sees you, unless you want to try to be stealthy. I didn't ask. I figured it'd probably be pretty tough. Yeah. Okay. All right.
No.
If somebody lives in the house that's here, right? If Barbas lives here, he does not want visitors. This clearly looks very, very, yeah, it looks like no one lives here but a shadow.
Good. I'll go around to the neighbors on background. You guys figure out what you're going to do about the house. I'm just going to walk over to the guy mowing the lawn and sort of wave to him and patiently wait for him to come talk to me.
He lets go of the lawnmower throttle, and mower dies. He's wearing these like earmuffs, like the thing that your parents were like, "Don't wear earmuffs, otherwise you're gonna go deaf." He takes them off, and you can hear the sound of "I think I'm alone now" in the puts those down and walks toward you. Greets you. Oh, hello. How can I help you?
Hi. I was just in the neighborhood. My husband and I are looking for a nice neighborhood to settle down in. This seems like a nice place, but well, he works with the NYPD, and he's thinking about trying to transfer up here. Are there a lot of folks from the police force in this neighborhood?
Oh, we love it. No, look, I'm not a police officer. I'm a protection agent. So
nice.
I do what I can. Yeah, not a lot of folks in the police force over here. Although neighbor, I think he was. Yeah. He, we don't see him a whole lot now, unfortunately. Ever since last June, I guess at least June. I mean, maybe even. Yeah, I don't know. I have the date written down somewhere. I think if you'd like, I can go find it.
They say true heroes are not the ones who make much noise about their deeds. So maybe he's busy. I don't know. Do you know him well?
Very true. No, not much. We really haven't talked to him in a couple of months. Honestly, I think he's probably got some kind of mental illness. Me and the wife, we keep the kids on our side of the
Yeah, I mean,
yard.
It's tough. I mean, yeah, in your line of work, you can see some things that'll shake you up.
Yeah. As a sheepdog, I've really had some experiences with, a lot of people that are, they're just there's a lot of sheep. You know what I mean? I think unfortunately he's kind of becoming a sheep. So,
yeah, of course, yeah. Well, it's a shame whenever people sort of get complacent. I totally agree. Well, I'm gonna go a little bit more on my walk. Any of the places I should check out? Anything listed?
Hey, sorry, before if you talk to him, he kind of like gets close. Like, if it's a money thing, I mean, his power hasn't been on, and I don't want to make him feel uncomfortable. But he's had this whole fucking mining helmet on his head, and walking around. It's just kind of making the kids a little bit worried. Do you think you could talk to him? I mean, we can loan him. I mean, if he needs something, we're all. I mean, we're fine.
If I'm honest with you, no, it's not a money thing. Like I said, my husband's on the force in New York. He and your neighbor were close. They were partners actually a decade or two ago. So
okay.
I thought I would check in while I was in town. I heard some things. I just want to make sure he's okay.
No. Yeah, I mean, we haven't. I mean, brother in arms. I haven't called police, but I'm kind of worried about him.
Of course. Well, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to my brother-in-law, and we're gonna go ahead and we'll go check on him and see how he's doing. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Sorry, just one more thing. He said that. I asked if I should take care of his mail. He's always gone. He always just comes back at night. And so I asked, should I grab your mail for you? And he shouted. But there's plenty of mail on his porch. Maybe I just bring it inside. If you're going to, if he's in there, don't break into his house. I'm not asking. I would never ask that. But just grab his mail. I don't want someone to take it.
Well, we certainly won't break in unless we see some reason to think he's in danger, right?
Yeah. Right. No, of course. Yeah. Okay, great. Well, thank you. And he kind of goes back to his lawnmower. I think
as soon as he puts the headphones back on, I stare at his back and I just shake my head. I'm like, I marvel. Absolutely, it's beautiful, really. And then I just walk away.
Yeah, what you see that there are two cars, and he has a bumper sticker, that thin blue line bumper sticker, and his wife's car, you assume, has to my husband's a security officer kind of thing going on. It's very good. It's very nice. You walk across the yard. The boys are kind of looking around, looking at what the house looks like, kind of getting a quick rundown.
Well, neighbor says he's been amazed, befuddled, and beflustered for a couple months. Mail stacked up, power's out. Wouldn't be surprised if the water's out, going around with a headlamp on to keep the inside lit up. So if we want to play ourselves off, I told him we were police-related friends, so we could probably get away with a gentle entry. No one's going to care very much about this guy, it seems like.
Great.
Right.
Nice work.
Cool. I'm going to hang out in a discreet position outside, keep an eye out. If you run into any electronics, come and get me. Otherwise, I trust you.
What kinds of places would Heather consider to be discreet?
She is going to sort of walk around like the block a little bit more so around the cul-de-sac, and just like she's going to try and find like a house with a for sale sign posted or something like that where she can pretend to be just like studying it and just being within earshot, eyeshot of the house as a way to keep an eye out for anyone coming.
Down maybe one or two houses down across the street, there's a big realty sign in the yard. It says Boxer Realty, and there's like a cute, like the little logo is a cute like dude with the boxer, right? Old. Yeah. There is an open house today, so you could meander, look around the yard, and quote unquote cover for a hot minute.
Yeah, I'm actually just going to stand out in front of it and pull out a piece of paper, pretend to be reading it and looking up at the house.
Okay.
Every once in a while, like I'm comparing notes or something. Just going to do that for a couple minutes.
So as Miranda kind of goes away to this amazing open house and begins to look very interested in it, the three of you kind of begin to look around, and I think I have a decision point here. Are we entering and checking out that mail that perhaps Miranda mentioned on her way over, pointed at? Are we going for the more sneaky approach?
Rita's for sure going to look at the mail.
Okay, yep, you snag it. Nothing looks immediately disturbing. You want to look at it while you're walking, or do you just like pocketing it?
No, I'm just like, pocketing it.
Pocket.
Like, let's get in.
Okay. All right. So you make your way around the house, and as you're turning that corner, you see that there's someone would call it a backyard, but it's really not much. It's kind of dirt, some grass. It was probably at one point growing okay, not very big either. There is, however, a screen door, and it's open. That storm door thing where there's a screen door and then like a house door inside. The house door is all the way ajar, standing open, but the screen door is like not latched, right? It's like standing there open a little bit. There's no sound coming from inside. There's no lights on inside. Is our marching order Meridian Reed Merchant?
I was going to take the front and then have Meridian watch my back.
Okay. All right.
I don't have a gun, but I do also want some cover from behind, but I know he's taller than me, so I feel like the optimal position for him would be like behind.
So Merchant in the middle, and we got Millstone in front. Okay, got it. You make your entry. It's not very difficult to do so. Are you trying to be stealthy, by the way, or are you all kind of like just particularly
casual?
Okay, casual.
I mean, I'm trying to be as quiet as I can be, but I'm assuming that door, based on the state of the house, if we're going for cliches here, it's gonna creak and be.
Thankfully, your noise
annoying.
get caught the entire creek. But if we had heard it, I'm sure we all know what it sounds like. Still cutting out. Phenomenal. That's the technology.
It sounds like that.
That worked. Yeah.
Make sure you take a clip of somebody who opens a door and it goes
Yeah. That sounds good. I think I like that. I'll take care of that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Like an old door sound like that.
Yes, indeed. Old door.
Old door dot wave. Got it.
I got it. So you you make entry, and you see that there is you enter the kitchen, and so there is what seems to be a pretty dilapidated looking house in general, but let's see here. Inside everything just kind of has this immediate oily smell, like engine oil, this overwhelming smell of oil coming over you. Maybe you just gonna flip a light switch on the way in or something, and it's clearly the power has been shut off, or maybe a fuse is blown. But based on the amount of dust on light switches, you're guessing that either the power is off or he doesn't like the power. So definitely, if it were nighttime, it would be pitch black. The curtains or the drapes in the front of the house are taped to the windowsill, and so they're not providing really anything. They're not blackout, so there's like some light coming in at this point from the street. Sunny-ish day, and it's probably about maybe noon, afternoon beginnings. So it's there's some sun. But if it were nighttime, again, it would be pitch black in here. Yeah, the kitchen is there's these large like paint cans on the kitchen counter. The fridge is open just a little bit, and there's no sound of the humming that a fridge usually makes for you. Further cementing that the power is likely out. It's clear like no one's eaten here. There's a bunch of dishes that have been smashed everywhere. Silverware though, interestingly, is in a drawer that's open and neatly organized in the drawer. Yeah, so there's like a little breakfast room, kind of like a breakfast nook area that's here that you could go into as well, but there's nothing in there. There's a window, nothing in there. A table. But if you were to go, there's a couple doors in front of you. One of the doors seems to go into the dining room. It's kind of got that nice little like the bar door thing where it swings and then closes. And there's also a what looks to be like the connecting room, like a hall. You see like maybe some stairs. All these doors are kind of open a little bit. You see some stairs that go up, and maybe what looks to be a bathroom through that way. So it looks to kind of be the center of the house. It makes sense geographically. It makes sense spatially. So as you kind of maybe make your way through the kitchen, a phone starts to ring, a cell phone. We get the nice, I guess we're not that big yet. I can say Nokia, right? Yeah. We get a Nokia cell phone ring. Eat my shorts.
Dude,
Nokia.
if we get sued by Nokia, I'll eat my hat, bro.
Yeah, and my shorts. You'll eat my shorts too. And
I'll eat your shorts.
Well, now they're considered Microsoft, so it can go real bad. Yes.
Yeah. There's You're
still talking about the shorts, right?
Yes.
Yes. Microsoft Shorts.
Glad you got it. There's the phone begins ringing and seems to be ringing from a cabinet above maybe our microwave. Someone want to answer?
Yeah, no, Reed's immediately going to go for that. He's going to go for the cabinet. He's not going to answer it immediately. He's going to see what kind of phone it is. He's going to check whatever type of screen may be on whatever type of phone that is and assess if there's a caller ID situation.
Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Nice. Yeah, you kind of like look around the cabinets. Do you kind of make the movement to that you're like, nah, go ahead, or do you want them to wait for you?
I mean, they're going to do whatever they're going to do, but Reed's just going for it, and he's just going to start kind of like grabbing cabinets, and he's searching for the noise.
Okay. Certainly no imminent
What kind of ring is it?
It's the that one.
Yeah,
Yep,
hell yeah.
Yep. That one.
I love that one.
And it keeps going. And you kind of see that you find it's taped under a cabinet. It's like taped to the counter right under. Do each of you want to stay? I want to make sure because there's a lot to see in this house. Merchant and Meridian, are both of you standing nearby, or are you going to kind of keep going and keep within earshot or eye shot?
Keep within earshot of the cell phone kind of until it resolves itself, and then I'll start wandering away.
Yeah. Okay. Reed, you want to? I guess the phone is another flip phone, blue, got kind of a blue front.
I imagine Reed grabs the phone. There's some tape holding it there. Reed, for dramatic effect here, I'm going to take some liberties.
Wow.
And I'm going to rip the tape. The tape is covering the little inch by inch screen on the front of it. And I'm going to rip the tape off. There's some residue on it, and you can it's a little scummy, but you can see whatever is on that screen through that scum.
Yeah, okay. So the phone screen has kind of almost looks like it's been stamped with some kind of symbol. The caller ID, that screen is like still lighting up, but it's kind of marred in such a way that you can't really see what the caller ID says.
Is it almost like burn-in? Like there's a symbol that's been
almost like
on
branding
the screen for like a burn-in process?
Maybe that could definitely be what it is. It certainly looks like it's physically been like the phone. It's not just stamped in like the nice ink way. It's like the phone has been marred in such a way that it is marked.
Got it.
The symbol is kind of what looks to be half of a very shapely, beautiful woman, and the other side seems to be like a curtain rising, or maybe a curtain in the breeze, maybe a curtain on the wave. Who knows? But it's certainly fabric and blowy, which are technical terms. You can't see what the caller ID says, but you could certainly answer it. I mean, maybe your guts are a little bit concerned, or you've got some bad gut feelings at this point with this weird brand, but still ringing.
Well, when you open a Nokia flip phone,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't automatically answer it. It'll display the caller ID on the other side, and then you can choose to answer it.
Sorry, I didn't think you opened it up yet. Did you open it?
I didn't, but now I am.
Lovely. You open it. The caller ID says Ruben H.
Reed's just gonna hold it up to the other two and be like, I don't feel like Reed at this point with these people needs to say anything. The question is in the air. Do I pick this up?
When he holds up and sees Ruben, Merchant will tilt his head and kind of nod, answer it.
Hello?
Yeah, so it sounds kind of like a middle-aged man. And he says, Michael, this is Ruben. Ruben Hardrick, DEA. Look, man, we can fix this, okay? I don't know what you think you're doing, but this has gone far enough, okay? You just have to call me back. And at that point, Merchant, you hear from up the stairs the loud sound of a gong, like a very loud gong. Notably, neither Meridian nor Millstone hear that.
I kind of do did you?
Yeah, you want to go
Tim-
upstairs? Sure.
Yeah, I'm going to head upstairs. Did you?
I don't know what you think you're doing, man, but this has gone far enough. You have to call me back immediately. We can fix this. You have to stop running. You know we can't cover you forever. They're looking for you, Mike. I mean, not just us. If you're hearing this, you got to turn yourself in tonight, right now.
I'm not running. What do you mean?
And then the same voice, right? Totally different timbre.
The windows look out upon a war-torn land. The man's face shares the light of death and torture, and the twin suns watch us like hunter's eyes.
And then the phone goes dead. You get the dial tone. You see Merchant running up the stairs.
Reed just has this
running?
visceral reaction to like fucking wooey nonsense coming out of the phone. He hears that dial tone and it's like fucking needles in his brain. He's just like, fuck, and he just fucking tosses the phone.
The phone hits the wall, and the dial tone is still you can still hear it even though it's, kind of smashed against the wall. And then
Nokias
you hear...
don't break against the wall.
Correct. Well, that's right. That's why it's still making
break
sound.
walls.
Mm-hmm.
You hear from the other side the sound of your daughter's voice, and she says,
Dad?
not like, oh my God, help me, but like,
Are you there? Like, Dad? Hello? Hello?
Reed walks over to the phone and he kind of just grabs it and holds it in his hand. He's not putting it up to his ear. He's just sort of like waiting to see if that's going to continue happening or if there's going to be a change.
Meridian, you hear the sound of Merchant shouting from upstairs. He says, Meridian, I think there's someone in the basement. He's got a gun. Go ahead and roll, I don't know your friend's voice check real fast for me there. Let's
What
go
is
with
that?
intelligence
I
time.
feel like that's
times five.
int.
Yeah, int times 5 is fine.
Yeah, so it's 50%. Okay.
I think you Good. Sorry, what's the roll? What do we got? Give me the roll, baby.
90
Damn.
over
Got it.
50.
You believe it. That sounds like Meridian. He sounds very, very, very worried, very concerned, very upset. And God damn it, if you could do something. Guy with gun. What do you think?
The time is now.
Got it. You have a gun, right? What's your gun at? What you got, baby?
I'm just trying to remember because I don't want to do this again to know if I have my gun with me or not.
Why don't you? I mean, like, if we're asking if you do or don't, I think the answer is you do. Like, I think if we're ever asking ourselves, does the guy with the gun have the gun? He has the gun. So
Yeah.
you have.
I'm
The gun.
just
You
okay.
got that collapsible stock fucking rifle
the
that
sniper
Yeah,
collapses
exactly.
down to the size of a grain of sand.
A
Yes.
little brace. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I have my gun. Cool.
Yeah. The basement. You can see there's clearly a basement door. You see it right away. There's like a little. I'll say very ominous because it seems like a very cheap word to use, but I'll use it anyway. So you see as you're standing kind of by, I assume you kind of watched a merchant go upstairs. You can kind of see you at the staircase. You got the kitchen behind you with the door open. You see Reed. You don't hear anything. You don't hear the dial tone or any voices or whatever. You hear the old shopkeeper shouting at you. And so now you kind of look around, and it's a little bit unnerving that the first place you look is the basement. And you know it's the basement. The door is open. The door is a hollow core wood door that's existed for much, much longer than any of you. And there, hanging just above the top stair, is a very thin piece of white string that's probably hung there for a long, long time, kind of moving in a non-existent breeze.
The basement is not illuminated whatsoever.
It will be when you hit the light or turn the light on, probably.
But there's no power in the house.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it could be a fuse. Who knows, right? Maybe the kitchen's on one fuse. Who knows?
Could be.
You flip the light on, or you try to pull the string. It's very fast. What happens is very fast after this. All of the lights turn on. The entire house is illuminated. Places where there aren't lights are very bright, even. Everywhere. It almost looks like a little explosion, but the light is blue. It's not nice and warm and red. It's very cold. You all hear the sound of what you assume is the fuse box at the same time in the garage do an actual explosion. Certainly Miranda hears this. Maybe she even knows what model fuse box that was. But certainly the fuse box goes pop. And for the moment that all the lights are on, Meridian, you watch, you see the heel of somebody wearing a kind of a purple and red, maybe yellow outfit, kind of just turn around the corner at the bottom of the stairs. There's no light at the bottom of the stairs. There's just the one above you, but it's lit. The whole stairway is lit, bright, blue light. Well, not blue, white blue, right? Cold. And you watch this kind of almost like a jester outfit, kind of just steps around the corner. Yeah, that's pretty good, huh? And so I think, Miranda, you would probably be interested in investigating at this point in time. Because it's also, even through the blinds, a little flash of blue light. So,
yeah, when I notice the light across the way, I scan. No one else has shown up. There's no police cruisers or anything. I walk back across the street, let myself in.
What's your alert?
My head into the kitchen. 40, I think. 42.
Okay, everything's fine. You are you gonna go in the front door, or are you thinking about going in the back door?
At this point, I'm just. Did everyone else enter through the back door?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm following the path they took.
Yeah, you are you speed walking, regular walking, running?
Walking casually, no rush.
You casually walk to the rear of the house. Let's cut back to Reed for just a second. Reed, are you gonna engage with whomever's talking on the phone?
So when we left Reed, he was holding this phone in his hands like this, just kind of staring at it and hearing his daughter's voice coming out of it. Is that still what's happening? He's just gonna keep listening for a second.
Okay.
And he's obviously the fucking lights have gone crazy in the house, and he's is there any sort of indication of a change in
None.
What's coming out of that phone when that happens? Nothing?
None. And also, so the only thing that's creeping you out or worrying you is that the timbre and the volume, and when someone calls and you can't hear them, you kind of give the, hey, are you there? Hey, what's going on? Hey, can you hear me? After about 4 or 5 times, you're like, I'm just gonna fucking hang up. It's been happening for 15, 20, 25 seconds, and you're just standing there and it's the same.
Dad? Hello? Dad?
So at a certain point, it just sounds robotic and odd.
It's like that blue light just fucking pierces the coldness of it, just pierces his fucking head like an ice pick. And he's holding the phone, and he's got it with both his hands. He pulls it up to his ear, and he's just like, baby, fuck. Do you have Finny? Is Finny there?
She hits you back with,
No, Dad. Finney's at the masquerade.
and that's when you hear it. Let's cut up to Merchant up in the upstairs area. As you kind of take that top step, you see a couple of different rooms. Clearly, this is where the bedrooms are. There may be a first floor bedroom, but it's not that great. These are the master bedrooms, so to speak. So
Yeah, is the sound of the gong reverberating from any one of them?
no. It sounds nope. It's just kind of coming from around. Sounds nice. You like it.
Mhm.
I mean, it's nice. It's calming. It's pretty. In fact, the reason you came up here, which you're not really sure about until now, but you gather it's something like feeling accepted. Like the gong understands.
Love that for the gong.
Yeah, it does too. Believe me. So you as you're at the top step, You see a very familiar human that is in a bedroom that's kind of just ahead of you at a desk. Appears to be typing on a typewriter. Can't put a finger on it, but appears to be typing at a what you think is a typewriter. Yeah. And you feel
familiar looking typewriter, or is it just a standard issue?
No, I think so. I think you've always known how it looks.
Gotcha. Well, in that case, stride right in.
What's that thing? There's that. I don't mean to make light of anybody's disability, but there's that thing where people can't recognize others based on their faces. Faces don't help.
Yeah, Press syndrome.
Yeah. So this thing happens to you. You walk in the room, and there's just papers everywhere. Papers all over the room, scattered everywhere. And you can't tell who the person is at the typewriter. You kind of try to look around, look at their face, but they don't look at you. They just keep typing. This thing that kind of looks like a typewriter and a cotton gin and a clock just had a car accident. They all just joined, and that's what's happening. And you realize as you look down at the typewriter and around the room, there's just so much to see. There's these like images on the wall. These like almost look like there's branding on the wall. Papers are flying around. There's oil splashing, gasoline. You're not sure. Person's fingers are bleeding. You see there's just like kind of blood seeping all over the typewriter as they're like smashing. It looks like their fingernails have basically all but broken off and they're just smashing the typewriter. And even though you don't know who is there, you get this very smooth voice that certainly, calmed you in days past and was there for you and like really, I don't know, was it someone you trusted and you cared about and you loved. And that person just says like, is it done yet, Alex? And that's when you hear it, just then. Miranda, yours is a little less interesting as you kind of enter the kitchen, and at about that time, you and Reed, kind of are aware of each other, but when you hear it, you lock eyes with Reed immediately. And you both run. You run toward the little white string in the doorway, but you know that it will not do anything for you. Won't even save Meridian's life. Meridian, you're down at the bottom of the stairs, and after you get down there, after the blue flash, I assume. But you'd be tactical. I assume you'd be super tactical. Like you'd probably go slow and check all the corners. Yeah, makes sense. There's a bunch of bookshelves here, and there's somebody that's like sitting on the floor, right in front of this huge like grandfather clock, just massive. The ceiling isn't very high in here, but it is as tall as it's got maybe a half an inch worth of clearance, massive. And it's wider than you can spread your arms. It's like a monstrosity of clock. And there's a dude sitting in front of it wearing fatigues, right? Wearing, the uniform that you wore, right? What do you want to do?
Does his face ring a bell?
You can't put a name to him. You're not sure, but you've seen him before. You've probably fought together or trained together or something. Shared liquor or whatever. Certainly, you've met him and been around him. One of your like soldier buddies. And honestly, his name isn't important. You realize, like, you kind of think to yourself, like, damn, like, I'm getting a chance to see somebody I'm never going to see again. Maybe you have that moment. In fact, he says, like, oh, hey, man. You see, he's just kind of like, he's got what looks to be like a to-go tray, like one of those styrofoam to-go trays. And he's got a plastic fork. And he's just eating. It looks like he's eating some kind of like fast food meal. And when you look down, there's one for you, too. He's like, yeah, you have to sit down, man. It's all good. We're just eating.
We? Who's we?
Well, you and me if you sit down.
I'm good. What are you doing here?
I don't know, man. Never got a last meal. Kind of wanted to give you one. And that's when you hear, Meridian, the sound of the clock unfolding. Impossibly. Steam pipes kind of roll out of places they shouldn't exist. These cogs and gearboxes rise up. The glass doesn't shatter, just kind of bends. As all of these monstrosity machines just kind of begin to unfold themselves in a way that is, some may call it like a transformer, but transformers are much too precise and clean. This is just breaking every rule about space and time that you've ever known existed. And once one part of it unfolds, just more unfolds. It looks like it weighs hundreds of kilograms, hundreds of pounds. And it's massive. I mean, it's almost as big as the room. This weird, it looks like an umbrella's inverted, and there's this fantastical big net, and all these things are jammed together. And you all hear, the thing you hear will probably haunt your nightmares forever. And it's the sound of the large gear at the bottom that probably drives locomotion going click. That click echoes in all of your ears. as the clock attacks Meridian. We'll see if you die next week.
Whoa! I'm so
Dead
glad to be upstairs.
Roll for
Fucking-
initiative.
With that episode, Libby. Goddamn, man. Goddamn.
We're good. I'm very happy.
I'm 2 floors away.
yeah. That was cool.
Can't pepper spray a clock.
Have some Delta Green.
Not with that attitude, baby. yeah. Let's get our outro. That's
Say
right.
goodbye to the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell
Thank
yeah.
you. Everyone, thank you
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, goodness, we love doing
for
this.
joining us.
Holy shit.
Did that
We have
scare
fun.
you? Because that scared me. I had chills.
So did I.
I gotta
Through
go
a lot of
sleep
that
after this.
episode.
We're phenomenally, dude, all of us, literally all of us look at you guys' comments. Like before we recorded today, we read comments from you guys. Like we hit 300 subs, so all of us are feeling very nostalgic and we just want to say thank you. We want to see phenomenal. We are just, I don't know. I lose words. Like it's just
Goodness,
everything we've done. You know what I mean? Like
We all see all your comments. We're not always perfect about responding to them. After we
Them all.
finish, when we stop recording here, I'm going to go
Yeah.
answer all the ones that we haven't answered yet. I'm going to go do that.
It's wild to think a year ago we didn't know each other. Like this is
crazy.
this has been great.
Crazy.
And thanks to all
Wow.
who respond. And
Yeah.
If you
We
think
love it.
about it, it's kind of a
all gonna
reflection of
go
the way the
insane.
campaign works that we can't really remember that time and conceive of it. Like that version of ourselves just no longer exists. There is no version of Hawk that doesn't think about Andy every once in a while in his butthole.
Oh,
like, it's
now,
much
hang
thing with the
on.
night-
That's for Patreon. You can't say that, dude. What the hell?
Just bleep it.
Only,
Okay,
only
I'm
every
not sure.
butthole.
I'm not sure what just happened, but I don't.
Sorry,
think
this
if
isn't
anyone-
a show where we bleep buttholes. I don't know
That's
what
fair.
kind of fucking amateur hour you think
It's-
we've
I
got.
think it's
word
way
butthole.
funnier if you bleep that
No.
because it's so non-objectionable.
That's our
Yeah.
feature. All right. Awesome.
that is-
Well,
that's really. I'm uncomfortable.
no, it's
Well,
okay.
No, I was gonna
That's
say I'm gonna hang up
what
on this, and
this
I'm
is
gonna
all
try to write another play version of The World Without Doors.
I love
know.
that for you.
It's going really well.
Called The World Without Buttholes.
Yeah.
On that note,
A butthole without doors.
Butthole.
Butthole with no point of egress or ingress. Just a patch of skin where a butthole should be.
See you next
This-
week.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, little babies.
This isn't the show where we fucking What a t-shirt. This isn't the show where we bleep butthole. No price. All right.
That's the other.
Before we sign off, I want to take a moment to talk about something very close to my heart. This podcast is about exploring darkness and fear, but in real life, those feelings can be overwhelming. I want to remind you that if you're feeling lost, lonely, or struggling, you don't have to face it alone. There are people who care about you and want to help. If you're in the US, you can call or text 988, the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, for free, confidential support 24/7. Wherever you are, there are resources and there is hope. You matter and your story matters.